Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I thought an interesting topic for the program would be to talk about the incredibly booming Canadian market. It's incredible what's happening there. According to indices like the Wall Street Journal and Heritage Foundation have created, Canada is more economically free than the United States. It's certainly expanding while the United States continues to limp. And there's a company out there, and it's called Stelco, and it is a company that helps American businesses get their products in the Canadian marketplace. And I thought it'd be an interesting topic for the program. I've got Stephen Page with that company on the show. And how are you today, Stephen?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Great. Kind of give us your elevator speech. Tell us what Stelco is all about.
Well, for 20-plus years, we've been working with U.S. companies, brands of all different sorts, and assisting them with bringing their products into Canada. And so often U.S. companies want to sell into the Canadian marketplace and tap into, the booming economy here. And, generally will make the assumption that Canada is just another state and attempt to ship their products into the country and encounter all sorts of challenges related to customs clearance at the border, duty, sales taxes, and just a variety of mechanisms that are very different from one country to another. So although the demographic of the consumer is very similar and actually easy to target and sell to, the logistics of how you reach them and get your products from the U.S. to Canada can be quite challenging. So that's been the niche we've been in for 20 years. So
kind of give me a panoramic overview of the type and size of companies that you work with.
There's a whole wide variety of companies. We've got, clients who I don't, get their revenue financials per se, but in terms of order volumes and shipments that we will take out of our facility to deliver for them daily, either to retailers across the country or directly to consumers, we've got companies who are shipping hundreds of thousands of packages annually, and we've got ones that ship maybe 1,000 to 2,000. So it's a wide gambit in terms of the type of client we work with. Obviously, we prefer the bigger ones because we can scale with them, but at the end of the day, we're never really sure how one will scale. So we really work with a very wide array of clients in terms of size and scope of business.
Okay. What would you say is the sweet spot?
The sweet spot for us, I would say, is a company that's probably generating between $2 to $5 million a year in Canada would be my guesstimate.
Okay. And any company that's significantly bigger that probably has a lot of internal mechanisms as part of their logistics.
They may indeed, but at the end of the day, they likely will. It really depends on how they're selling in Canada. So there's a variety of different ways to move goods from the U.S. to the Canadian marketplace. If you're distributing through retail in Canada, so if you're in the mass channel and you're shipping to Walmart or the major drug chains in Canada, generally speaking, you need to have inventory residing in a Canadian facility because the lead times, when you've got your DCs of Walmart calling for inventory, it's, you've got a 4 to 5 day window to supply that inventory. The goods don't flow from the U.S. into Canada, into Walmart in that sort of fashion. If you're doing one-off large POs, you can ship from abroad directly to Walmart. But if you're on an ongoing on-shelf program where you're continuing replenishing, you need to have inventory based in Toronto. So it really depends on the specific needs of a marketer. If you're a direct-to-consumer marketer, shipping, 1,000 orders a week, whether you're an internet marketer, a catalog company, infomercial company, the requirements are very different in terms of getting the goods to the consumer in the same sort of time fashion that, Walmart will require.
Mm-hmm. How about your company? Is it a mid-market size company?
Yeah, we are. We're without revealing we're a private company, our financial information, but we're a mid-market size company. We've grown annually at a very significant rate for the last 20 years. We just continue to attract more business, and I think that we have, without question, become more or less branded as the go-to company in Canada, and very specifically in one niche in particular, which represents a far greater challenge than just the general overall logistical issues I've raised, and that's the health and beauty market. And, it's a very, very robust market that's growing very rapidly as, baby boomers and Generation X, everybody's focused on health and beauty, vanity, weight loss, all of these various categories. And that category is incredibly challenging to ship logistically and even sell into from the U.S. without some assistance with companies like ours that have expertise in licensing with regulatory bodies here to really assist and make it an easy process. At the end of the day, our business model is to make selling into Canada really what I said at the beginning, like selling into another state. So our typical client will not have to deal with all of the logistical hassles. They'll mainly focus on selling the goods, and we'll pick up all the back-end pieces.
Yep, really good stuff. Really appreciate your time, Stephen. Final thoughts before I let you go. We got about 30 seconds plus the best website for people to get more information.
Absolutely. Our website is stalco.ca. That's S as in Stephen, T as in Tom, A as in Apple, L as in Larry, C as in Charlie, O as in Octopus, .ca. And at the end of the day, as I said, we're here to work with U.S. companies that are interested in expanding into Canada and not wanting to get caught up in the logistics of how they do that from, shipping and customs and all those various issues. At the end of the day, we want companies that just want to build their brands in Canada. And we can also assist them with that because we've got relationships with major retailers and most of the direct marketing response channels. As we've been doing this for so long, we've developed expertise in all these different areas. So love to connect with any businesses out there that are interested in targeting this booming market, as you said at the beginning of the call, and appreciate your time.
You bet. Thank you. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind the listener, best content here will be found over there at usaToReview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and you're listening to The Price of Business.